Well, good morning, everybody. Hope you rested well. No, I didn't. It was a short night. 6 o'clock came pretty early, but just wanted to share another God story this morning. I was thinking about trying to, stay in a place where we could keep it chronologically the way I grew in this thing, but I feel like I need to just share what comes to me as far as the God story is concerned. You'll have to excuse me, my sinuses are pretty messed up right now, especially in the morning because of allergies and so forth. I'm sure some of us out there understand. You start sounding like something underwater or feel like your nose is as big as Bozo. But I just wanted to share something a story that came to me this morning that's pretty funny and pretty embarrassing at the time because I'm still younger, back in my 20s, and I'm learning how to, hear the voice of God. I've had visitations, but still, even after he had left, after those almost 2 years of visitations, and he continues to talk to you, the Holy Spirit continues to talk to you, your mind still goes crazy, when the Lord speaks to you. Normally it's so simple and it's so foolish that your mind chooses not to believe it. That's one of the things, of course, again, that he told me that was one of the only thing that could separate us was my own carnal mind, the way I wanted to think. This is Allie. Yes, little Allie. She's a spoiled rat. But so there was this one time where I'd come home from a golf tournament, and I woke up the next morning, had a great day, playing with the children and so forth, and we were planning on going out to eat, and we had a babysitter to come and take care of our kids, and it was kind of funny. I'd never met this lady, but she was referred to us by the church, and so we knew, she could be trusted. And I was back in my bedroom. We had a bathroom connected to our bedroom there, and I was brushing my teeth. And as I was brushing my teeth, the doorbell rang, and I knew she was coming, pretty soon. And when the doorbell rang, it'd go ding dong, and as I'm brushing my teeth, as it goes ding dong, I heard the Lord say, blow on her knee, and I thought, what? That's crazy. There's no way that, that's just something my mind was actually thinking as the doorbell rang. Sometimes you'll get little jingles that will come to your mind through the day, and a lot of times it's the Lord when you hear those little jingles that kind of rhyme, but because it's so simple, but that's the way the Lord, talks, is through simplicity. And so I'm sitting there, and I've stopped brushing my teeth, and I'm waiting to hear it again, and of course I don't hear it, and so the doorbell rings again, and when it went ding dong, and then the voice in my head said, blow on her knee. And I thought, oh no, this can't be the Lord. And I thought, Lord, this can't be you. And I sat there and argued with it, kept brushing my teeth, and I kept arguing, with the Lord. And of course, I still don't know it's the Lord because my mind is still saying it can't be him. But my spirit was really stirring. Or you could say I started feeling embarrassed because I knew I was about to do something really, I thought stupid and foolish. And so I brush my teeth, get finished brushing, and I walk out of the bedroom, and the lady is sitting on my lazy boy chair, or in my lazy boy chair, and she's got a dress on, and I'm thinking, my gosh, I've got to blow in this lady's ear, this lady's knee, but she's got a dress on, and it went all the way down to her ankles, and I am so embarrassed, and I'm all stirred up, and I walk around playing like, hey, how you doing, and still stirring and embarrassed. And so I walk up to the lady and I said, listen, I've got to tell you something, and you'll have to excuse me, but I've just got to blow on your knee. And she looked at me as though she saw a ghost, and she went, oh, yes, please. And she raised up her dress so far up, it was a little bit too far because she was so excited. And I went, oh, no, just to the knee. And I wasn't trying not to look. She go, oh, yeah. And so she brought it down to the knee. And I looked at the knee, and the knee was swollen, like twice its size. And when I saw it, then I realized it's the Lord. And I mean, it's like this great faith came on me, It's like the Lord had hidden this thing, but I had to go search it out. And that's a lot of times when the Lord tells you something, He's only going to tell you just almost like in code. It's the glory of kings to search out a matter. But the Lord will give you a word to go search it out. If you don't search it out, you won't find it. That's why He says, seek and you shall find. And that is so true. He will give you a word so that you can seek it, and then He'll let you find it. But you've got to seek it first. And so I looked at this lady and I said, your knee is swollen. She goes, well, yes. She said, I had to pretty much crawl in here when y'all opened the door. And I said, well, what happened? And she said, well, I fell on the way here, and I twisted my knee, and it's swollen and hurting. And so I said, well, let me blow on it. And so I blew on it. Of course, it just sounds really ridiculous, just blowing on a lady's knee. Can you imagine seeing this from afar? Blowing on a lady's knee. People would probably hit me for doing that. But I blew on the lady's knee, and then I watched it as a young man. It was unreal. I watched the knee not just go down, but I watched the knee just appear just normal. It literally just appeared normal as soon as I blew on the knee. It became like a new creation. And of course that's biblical too. That was one of the last things that the Lord did was blow on His disciples, and His breath made them that type of new creation to walk the things out that were of God. And the breath of God can actually just change you in an instant and cause you to appear something brand new and change all the old stuff and instantly cause you to look completely brand new. And when it just changed to a normal knee, I freaked out because I'd never seen anything like that. It was a literal creative miracle. And the lady saw it too, and she jumped up and started yelling and screaming and running around the house, skipping and praising God and thanking the Lord for healing her knee, and run over to me and was hugging me like I had done something. She didn't realize, that I too was, amazed because I didn't do it. I just did whatever the Lord told me to do, and I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel any power. The only thing I felt was embarrassment, and feeling like I was stupid because, first of all, watching an older lady, pull up her dress, like that, it just freaked me out. And then, but seeing the knee though swollen like that, it really changed the way that I'm supposed to be hearing things. It made me want to hear God because, some of the things that the Lord will speak to you, you may not understand and you may not even see it. But if you obey it, there is light at the end of the tunnel. There is something precious that's hidden in the treasury of His words. And if you choose to obey it, it's like taking your hands and opening that treasure. And once you open it, what is hidden inside and what is hidden within, it's glorious. It's something you'll never forget. It's something I'll never forget. I still, even today, I still treasure how well, of course, He has mercy on me, but I still treasure how He speaks to me. It's still amazing that God still chooses to speak to man to get His job done. And but He purposed that from the beginning. I mean, you can see it by Him sending His only begotten Son. You can see that man was called to fulfill what God wanted to do on the earth. And still today, God's still looking for men and women to fulfill His word, because He's going to fulfill His word by men and women on this earth. He's not going to do it any other way. You may have a move of the Spirit. You have a revival, but all those revivals and those moves of the Spirit is first to get us directed back to Jesus, and then start walking out the destiny He has purposed on the earth, so that His kingdom can come on the earth as it is in heaven. But He's not going to get it done unless we are doing it. And sometimes things that He tells you to do is going to seem really strange and foolish. But they're God's ways. They're not our ways. That's why it confounds us. That's why it makes it, we think it's silly, because it's not our way. It's God's way. And our carnal mind does not like doing it God's way, because it's not our way. But He is the way, and He is the truth, and He's the life, and that's the way that we've got to follow. We've got to drop our old ways and come out of brushing our teeth and doing it our way, and go find it and do what He calls us to do. So don't forget. Listen, if the Lord tells you something that may even sound a little bit foolish, it may sound a little bit strange, just try it. You're never going to know it's the Lord unless you do what His voice tells you. And throughout all the Bible, there are so many strange things that God did, and so many strange things where God used men to do strange things. I mean, had Moses, supposed to speak to the rock. He was going to speak to a rock, but he struck it, And if Moses just would have listened to him and done that foolish thing, walked over there and just looked at the rock and spoke to it, water would have came out. But he struck it, and out of God's mercy, water still came out. And I'm sure people were just in awe that they were getting water out of the rock. But he didn't obey the Lord's commandment and His words in every detail. We've got to obey it in every detail, lest we do it our way. And when you do it our way, even though God may, show up and He may still do it, it can keep you out of some promises of your future. Just like as Moses, God told him to speak to it. Instead, he struck it, and he didn't get to enter into His promise. And that's for people, that are growing in the Lord, and people that know His voice, and they choose to still do it their way. A lot of them sometimes don't enter into the promises that, that they saw in the future, because the higher you go, the greater the responsibility. And but all you got to do is just keep causing yourself to be converted like a young child if you want to enter the kingdom. Just do what He tells you. Don't add to it. Do every detail, and then He will do every detail for your life to not only bring provision and health and the finances that you need. He'll cover you, because you seek first the kingdom. Everything else is added to you. So go after the Lord. Keep blowing on people's knees and do what He tells you. That's the main thing for today. Just do what he tells you. Doesn't matter how foolish it is. Doesn't matter if you hear a little jingle in your head. Listen to it, because it could be the Lord speaking to you and really giving you direction on where to go and what to do. All right. Well, we love you, and have a good day today. It's 7 o'clock here, and there's some folks in South Africa I see that are on. Got Rick Morales on. I miss you, boy. You was a good man at the church. Wish you was around here. But see that Randy, checked in. How you doing, Randy? Sure love you, man. Hope we get together soon. And Ian, bless you, man. Hope you have a good day. Your day's about halfway through. All right. Well, we love you. Y'all have a good day, and I'll see you next Tuesday for God Stories again. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye-bye.